So what is going on, guys? And before we get started, how about a nice little round of applause for that intro? So hopefully you guys liked it. It took me a little while to make that, but I thought it came out really, really nice. What I wanted to do today was talk about the Magic Keyboard for the iPad Pro 12.9 inch. I've been using it with the 2018 model. You can obviously use it with the 2020 model, but I wanted to give you guys my 3-month review of the Magic Keyboard itself and let you know whether or not it's worth that $350 price point, show you guys if it smudges poorly, if it gets worse a lot quicker, if the magnets get worse, if the hinges start to loosen. I kind of want to talk to you guys about all those aspects because, again, for $350, you want to have a product that's going to last you a long time, that's going to be quality when you buy it, but also be quality a year, 2 years down the road. So if in 3 months it starts to tweak on you a little bit, you know that maybe this isn't worth that $350 price point. But without further ado, let's hop right into it, guys. So the main thing that I want to show you guys is how strong the magnets have stayed, and then also the double hinge, because again, this thing has 2 hinges. You have the normal hinge that you see on any other laptop or keyboard case or anything, which is this one. But then after a while it sticks itself, and then there's a second hinge which pushes back, which looks a lot more flimsy than the first hinge, if you guys can see. So this hinge right here is my biggest concern moving forward, especially after the 3 months or like 6, 12 months down the line, because this thing, even though right now it does feel very strong, I haven't felt it lose any of its touch or any of its firmness at all over 3 months. It could over time. So that's my only worry. This hinge I'm not worried about at all because look at how intense that is, right? And I'm moving it a bunch of times and it's not giving up at all, and it'll go up and then it clicks on its own. So you can see that. So if I place it down again, the whole motion is up and then push. So the hinges themselves have been doing great. They've held up great. I take my iPad off and on all the time. Obviously I open it all the time. I use the Magic Keyboard on a daily basis, guys. Absolutely every single day. I work from it, I play with it, I do everything with this Magic Keyboard, and it's been awesome. In terms of the actual iPad itself, the main thing you guys asked me is I have a D-brand skin on it, right? It has not affected the magnets whatsoever. This thing, you still put it on here, it attaches perfectly. If I plug it into the side port right here, it's charging, you can see. So plug this off, we'll lock it. The D-brand is still back here, you place it down, and it's charging. So you can see that the magnets don't lose strength both over time and with the D-brand skin. Like, I'm shaking this thing pretty hard and it's not coming off. So you don't have to worry about the magnets getting weaker over time, and you don't have to worry about at least you don't have to worry about a D-brand skin being back there. I don't know about any other third-party skins, but D-brand seems to work. That's the one I've tried. I'm sure all the other third-party skins, as long as they're not like crazy thick, will work with this magnet. And then a couple more things that I did want to touch on was this guy is a smudge machine. So if you get this and you have experience with the last keyboard case, the original Slim Folio keyboard cover, you're going to be used to this material, right? It smudges easily. I mean, over time it's okay, you can see, but you can clearly see that it has some smudging. It's no big deal. I mean, you can kind of clean it off. It's never going to be exactly the same when you bought it on day one, right? I like the embossed kind of Apple logo right there, if you guys can kind of see it. That's a nice little touch. So again, this thing does attract a lot of smudges, a lot of grease, a lot of fingerprints on the actual keyboard itself. You can see that the trackpad also has a couple smudges. The only thing that I did clean before this video was the keyboard a little bit, but I left the trackpad how it was. I left the actual palm rests how they were. I left everything how it was, just to give you guys an idea of how much builds up on this thing over a 3-month period. So I'll leave it up to you guys to decide whether or not it's extremely dirty, which I don't really think it is. And for the most part, I like to take care of it. But again, it's never going to be perfect once you get it outside of that box. And then the last 2 things that I do want to touch on are the keyboard and then that secondary USB-C port. So with the keyboard itself, again, it's exactly the same as what it was before. The backlighting is great, but the keyboard experience is still perfect. I haven't had anything kind of seep underneath of it. That was my biggest concern, because with the original Slim Folio keyboard that Apple released, it was impossible for you to get pretty much like dust or water damage inside of those keyboards because it was wrapped in that fabric. So again, you can see that there's a little bit of a gap in the keys themselves, just like any other keyboard there would be that is a quality keyboard, but I haven't noticed anything that goes underneath. I'm sure some dust has gotten there over time because that's just how it's going to be. I do wish that a third-party company or even Apple made some sort of small film that goes over it. I know that they've made it already for the older version, but again, that's already covered, so I don't know why people would need it. But overall, typing experience is amazing. And then the last thing I do want to touch on is this extra USB-C port on the side, which is just for power pass-through. I think it's okay. I mean, the only reason I use it is because it's off to the side and it's not visible. And I'm only using it when I need to charge it. Most of the time I have it plugged into my USB-C dock off to the side, so it does have to plug into the side right here, which I despise how that looks. Like if this had power pass-through on the left-hand side back here, it would be perfect. It would be tucked away, it would be hidden. See, you can barely see it on the screen, versus if you put a charger on the side of the iPad itself, you see that it's just kind of hanging there and it doesn't look good, guys. So that's pretty much gonna do for this video. I mean, my overall thoughts is that if you want that aesthetic, Apple looking, that beauty, that floating iPad Pro display, then yeah, it's worth it, right? Obviously we saw the Logitech Slim Folio Touch or whatever it's called for the 11-inch iPad Pro. That's a great option for a functional keyboard and trackpad for the iPad Pro. But again, it's not out for the 12.9, and right now the only trackpad and keyboard option we have for the 12.9 is the Magic Keyboard. All the other ones, the third-party ones like Bridge, like the ones on Amazon, they don't have the right technology. They didn't work with Apple. They didn't have the right software API kit to use when making and manufacturing their trackpads. So the trackpad experience is not the same. So sadly, the Magic Keyboard is the only option. It's an amazing option, but it's also an expensive one. But I do want you guys to know that if you do purchase that $300 or $350 Magic Keyboard, that you'll receive that quality throughout. And I do believe that 12 months down the line, I still will not be complaining about the hinges loosening. I'm not gonna be complaining about the magnets getting loose or anything like that. I'm probably gonna complain about how dirty it is, but that's my fault, not Apple's fault, right? So that's gonna do it for this video. Hopefully it helps somebody out. Just so you know, it's been out for about 3 months. I've had it for about that long, so that was just my honest review on the Magic Keyboard, and I love it, and I would never go back, and I don't regret it. But that's my 2 cents. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, peace.